Yeah, where I was actually interviewed.
Wow, honey.
Yeah.
Good,
Most of the time, I just now been
now I can see you better.
just talking rants on the radio.
Nonsense.
You want to start and then I'll just share?
Yeah, start Facebook, yeah.
Let's start now. Okay.
It says could not start the live. Oh, no, that's so much.
You're there. Just restart it. You should be okay.
All right, let's see what we got.
Okay, here we go.
I'm not gonna put the hood. Am I allowed to have the hood on?
You could wear anything you want.
Just joking.
Oh, of course.
Recording, and here's your music. You do music, right, Jared?
Yep, same.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Anytime this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Love's the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
Is it really true? Is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and
Safe
sound.
and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Anytime this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Love's the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show on HamiltonRadio.net. Gino, I don't see it.
It's there.
It's on Facebook?
Yeah.
All right. For some reason, guys, I can't get to you right now.
I'm gonna go try to find it now. So just give me a couple minutes.
All right.
You guys can talk.
So, all right. Let me know if you find it because I can't
I
find
will. I'm
it. Did you
looking.
see it? Ralph?
It should be on your page.
No, right?
You might have to go into the settings again and change it. Remember?
No, I did it 3
Next,
times.
get
No,
out of it
on
and
your
go back
phone.
in.
Yeah, I did 3 times. Did you see it? Hey, Facebook guys, you out there?
No.
If you're
Can
on
you hear me?
YouTube, you can see that.
It's not on Facebook.
Let's see.
Nope.
Unless they're blocking you, there's nothing.
Do you sign in?
I hate.
Yep,
You sign in from here?
I did.
Let me see where I
Yep.
can find you. It should
They-
see you.
Got rid of a couple of Chevys.
Are you
What else is
using the
supposed to be true?
Wi-Fi?
Really?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, you're on Facebook.
We're on Facebook.
Yeah.
He can't find it either.
No, I'm gonna share it with you right now.
Oh,
But you're on your page. I'm gonna share it with Ralph right now.
Yeah, I was trying to.
It says you're live, so you got.
Yeah, you're live. We're live.
share it on my page now.
We're live.
Chris.
It is on your page.
I don't see it.
It's on-
Isn't this crazy?
X out of there
I did.
yeah,
and go back in.
it is on your
I
page.
did. All right, watch. I'm gonna show you.
No, completely get out of there. Go back. Go, keep going. Then now, click on your. There you go. Now you refreshed it. Now click on your front page.
Oh, Ralph, you don't let people post on your page either, do you?
Yeah.
No, I
She
can't.
posts. Yes, she posts on my page all the time.
No, I had to put in your
It won't let me
message.
post it. I gotta put in your message. It won't let me
Huh?
post. Yeah. Settings.
All right, guys, listen. It's not here on mine.
It's on mine.
Share it to me.
Do you want me to tag you?
I just put it on his.
Do you want me to tag you?
Put it on mine.
I'm gonna do.
It's literally on your page.
It's
Sorry.
not, babe. Look, I'm showing you some. I don't know why. Isn't that crazy?
Turn off your phone. Turn it back on.
All right, let's do this. So everybody, I hope everybody out there can hear us. So I'm gonna restart my phone and see if we can get this thing going. All right. So we're still waiting on one of my guests. His partner in crime is here. Do you want to tell everybody out there who you are?
I am Ralphie Rotten from the Freestyle Freaks on Hamilton Radio. I am a guest on Jerry's show tonight.
Okay.
And my partner in crime is the one and only Billy the Kid.
Okay. And so I have a question.
Okay.
So what exactly is your show about?
Well, it's about it's called the Freestyle Freaks. It's modeled. I'm a freestyle head. I grew up listening to freestyle music, and the freestyle just gives us free reign of whatever we want to talk about. We don't rehearse anything. We don't really write anything. We just get on there and we bounce off each other, and we often bounce off Ruben as well. Sometimes when Gino's here, and it could be from 1 minute it could be very explicit to very educational to very like real meaningful and real inspirational. Like we like to talk about things that we're not just we don't like to just highlight on artists. We like to highlight on everybody a part of the community. Because artists. I love artists. I consider myself a DJ, producer, promoter, and radio personality. And as an artist, you often think, well, I'm just an artist. No, I got a full-time job as well, so I'm an intricate part of my community. So we like to highlight on everybody just instead
Okay.
of artists. So that's why we more freestyle and we cover anything from the political realm to religion realm to conspiracy theories to artists, producers, plays,
That's
and,
cool.
we have fun with it. And I think we're like we don't try to compete with any of the shows with Hamilton Radio. It's more like we just try to set ourselves apart, not in like in any negative or positive way, but just to stand apart, do something unique and original, and we just give something for everybody, and we just really keep it real. I keep it, I have the like the historical and the knowledge base. Well, I have what Billy comes in with the with the comedic aspect of it. He puts different comedic twist on it. And he's also really really knowledge. He's really really he's a really smart guy. And it's we're going on 4 years this year. And it's really fun. I mean, it's I never actually thought I'd be doing this growing up, but like I said, I'm humble and I'm grateful, and I appreciate Hamilton Radio for always giving me an opportunity to do this and like just cover one aspect of my bucket list, to be said to say, hey,
That's right. That's right.
I'm on the radio, and
That's right.
it's kind of cool every so often, you're we've talked about this, where I could be some random place in New Jersey, and they're like, wait a minute, I know you, you're on the radio.
Okay, that's cool, right?
And yeah, it's and then you stop to think and you're like, wow, really, like I'm really humble, so I don't really think anything like big about it. I just like we're just a real down to earth show, so I don't look at myself as a big radio celebrity or anything like that. But I'm seriously always humbled that God gave me a gift to do something like this. It's and like I said, this is actually my third time, on radio as a guest, but this is the first time officially that I'm on as a guest on somebody else's show. When I first did this with Hamilton Radio, I was thrown in on somebody's show, and we're going back almost 4 years, and I had radio experience, but I didn't really talk. I was always behind the scenes, turning knobs, and playing music and running a station, on a different aspect. So when I left my former station, it was a college station that I was really really proud to be a part of. But they didn't see that they were going anywhere. So when I was given the opportunity to do this, and they're like, oh, they're not going nowhere, I'm like, you see me in 4 years, 4 to 5 years, when I'll still have a show, and you don't know what you're gonna do in the next 4.
You're right about that, right?
So,
Joe?
I mean, yeah, and look, here we are. I mean, I know he's running late, but here we are. I mean, and like I said, I'm hoping we can do this for the next 4, next 12, I'm looking one day, I can do this an actual career, just, talk on the radio, 1, 2, 3 hours a day. Um, you do that. You do this twice a week, right?
Yep.
But we only do ours once, and it's like I said, it's a fun thing. It's a fun thing.
So how old are you?
People think I'm young.
I
People
do.
think
I
I'm
think you're
old.
young. No, I think you're young.
I'm going to be 39 this year.
Okay. Okay. I thought, yeah.
I'm
Well,
in teeter totter. I'm from young to old. I'm in that you know I'm on the cusp of either or.
okay.
I keep myself looking young.
You look young.
Yeah, I try not to overeat. Occasionally I'll get a large coffee or some donuts, but like I said, I'm just a regular dude.
So 4 years you've been doing this on Hamilton Radio.
Yeah.
So that's crazy because I remember I was like, scoping out all the shows one night. I was like, stalking Gino, and I came across you guys. And that was the first time that because I didn't really know too many shows on Hamilton Radio. Okay. Because I ran a poker league for years. And so I was out every night till like 1 a.m. So I only knew about some of the shows that were friends of mine. So then I gave up the league a year ago. So I started really looking at all the shows. And I just think you guys are awesome. First of all, you guys are adorable. I'm going to say
Thanks.
that.
Thank you.
You guys are adorable. And even together, you guys are adorable.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if he'll agree with that.
But I'm telling you, from a woman's perspective, watching you guys, I'm going to use the word eye candy because you guys are. And I was like,
Thank you.
wow, you
Thank
guys are so cute. Who are these young people? And I thought you guys were younger. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I'll take
That's the
that as a
truth.
compliment.
But that's the truth. And then I started listening to you guys, and I'm like, I really like you guys. And then I think I called in. Did I call in or typed in?
You may have typed in. It was a couple times.
Yeah.
You've called in. You called in a couple times. Wrote in a couple the other day.
Yeah.
I gave you the shout. I think
Yeah,
I gave
you
you
did.
the
Thank
shout
you.
out there. Yeah.
You did. You're awesome. So, but so your show. So this is what I liked about like the stuff you just said also because you do want to promote people.
Yeah.
I see that in you. And
Yes, we promote. You're good friends with one of my good friends,
Yes,
Kim D. We promote her. A couple, artists, local artists, diverse character. Shout out to him. Good friend of mine, Bill the Butcher. We're not afraid to promote artists that are
That's
really
what
good.
we love.
You had my boy Mike Oregano on your
Yep.
show last night, right? What, the other night? The other night?
Tuesday.
And
He's awesome, right?
yeah,
Crazy.
he's. When I seen him perform, I was like, "Yo, you gotta come on my show."
Me too. I said the same
I have
thing.
never seen anybody that can do all that in one sitting. And I said, "Yo, you have." And he thought I was BSing with him. I said, "Dude, you got a talent. I would like to showcase you on my show." And yeah. And that was a. Even though he was a local, talent, that was a big accomplishment because we never had somebody like that on my show. So yeah, we're not afraid to promote people that are really good. It's just, and we do that from the heart. Like
That's right.
we don't, of course, some people offer us tickets to see performances, tickets to promote them, and we greatly appreciate that. But we're not afraid of just throwing somebody out there and saying, listen, you should take a listen to them. Because there's not a lot of platforms that do that. Yes, there is, but not on the level that we do.
I have to stop you. You are 100% right. Okay, because every time I've seen your show, you're all about that. And I'm all about that. And I just love like making other people happy and getting them to get their stuff out there. And I saw that in you guys. And thank you for that. And Hamilton Radio.
Appreciate it.
Like, where would we be without Hamilton Radio? Hamilton Radio is amazing. We're all over the world.
Yeah,
we're making a
amazing.
difference in so many people's lives.
Yeah, it's I helped bring Kim D to Hamilton Radio. I think I may have some of her music playing on the station, and so forth. And we don't, like I said, we just do it because there's nobody doing it. Like there should be, remember MTV used to have music. videos upon videos. Now you're watching, you know, pregnant chicks at 16 and Jersey Shore shows.
Terrible.
You
to
know,
me.
listen,
Terrible to me.
I'm not knocking what they're doing
No,
because
it's terrible
I
to me.
understand what gravitates to watching TV, but MTV lost the whole platform of playing the music.
I agree with
And
you.
you know,
Come on, baby, sit
come on,
down.
brother. Come on, brother. Late
I'll
as
hug
usual.
you later. I'll hug you later.
Late as usual. What's up, my
Oh,
brother?
you're right here.
Oh, he's got to grab. He's got to grab
Gino's
the chair.
good, man. Gino knows.
He's got to grab the
That's
chair.
fine.
He's
Gino
got to grab the
knows.
chair.
He's like, let me get everybody. How you doing, Billy?
He's got to grab the chair.
That's fine.
Whenever you're
All
ready.
right. So look, we're gonna take a photo, guys, with Billy in it.
Okay, ready? We have 1, 2, 3. Move a little bit more. There. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Hold on.
Got it.
Chair.
Listen,
move
I got-
over right here. Move over right
I've got this guy trained, baby.
Watch the wire. Watch the wire. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Got it.
here. Much better.
Gino's trained, baby. Gino's trained.
That is the everything.
Hey, Billy, how are you?
I'm good. I made it. Finally
You
made
made it, babe.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about you.
Not negative.
No.
Good looking, good looking.
So tell everyone who you are.
All right, I'm Billy the Kid, co-host of DJ Ralph's Hair Show, Freestyle Freaks. Air every Monday. What time we start? 9 to 10, right? Yeah,
9 to 10.
yeah, 9 to 10. I'm never this late.
You were there was an
no, he's
accident.
not.
I saw it actually.
Yeah. All I saw was tail lights. I was super eager to make it here. I definitely wanted to make it to your show. We had a lot of hype and anticipation built up about this
Listen,
show.
it's fine. You're 15 minutes, not a big deal. I saw the cops on it, and I got off like before.
Yeah.
So I knew there was going to be a problem for someone.
Yeah, I saw my little work schedule, man, because I got one of them jobs where like I never know what time I'm gonna get off because it all depends on how fast I finish the deliveries. But like when I saw that, you know, I had time for this, I'm like, yes, jump right on the highway, and it's just like
This is
smack
so
dab
cool.
traffic. Like,
It's okay.
yeah, but
okay.
I mean, other than that,
We've got till 6:30 anyway, because my show is an hour and a half on.
All
Oh
right,
no, 6:15 tonight. It's Thursday.
yeah,
I get confused.
I'm
Right.
definitely here to rock and roll. Besides that, you know, I do comedy. You know, I tell a little bit of jokes here and there. You know, the same thing I used to get in trouble for. You know, I now make a living off of it. So,
But wait, I have a question. Can you do a clean joke without cursing?
yeah.
All right,
of course.
because we don't speak politics or religion or cursing on my show.
Okay.
Are you capable?
Yeah.
This is a challenge, baby.
Hey, what I learned actually when I do comedy, one thing that I did learn, I had to do a show that was no curse words.
Oh,
And, the first
I
show
love
that I did, I probably got like 3, probably 4 or 5 under my belt with no curse words. And the first time I did it, I said, okay. I said, it's not that I have to try to not curse. I actually have to try to curse. I'm a naturally clean comic. Like my content.
Oh,
Like my content will make you feel like I cursed, but my content is what it is.
oh.
It's the curse words that I have to try the time to throw in there to reach a certain crowd. Like if I'm in bars or clubs, whatever.
Wake him up.
Yeah, you know, some people want to kind of hear the Samuel L. Jackson version of it with, you know, a couple of MFs or whatever in there. You know, like, yeah, they want to hear it that way. So when I ran through those jokes and I was like, okay, I don't have a problem with that. You know, and my mom always asked me, she was like, can you do it without cursing? I'm like, you know, I got to do it because it's in bars and stuff. But the first show I did, and it was all clean, I did it effortlessly.
But wait, I have to ask you something about that. That's really interesting for me because, of course, through Hamilton Radio, we have a lot of comedic friends and go to all these shows, and I'm not a fan of all the cursing. You know, I remember old-time comedy, and I remember cracking up laughing, and these guys never, ever cursed once.
Yeah.
So in your mind, like, is that really true? Is it like if you're in a certain place, you have to curse to get laughs? Is that really true? Or is it something you think?
Personally, for me speaking, it depends on where you
I
at
think it
to
depends on
curse
the
to get
crowd.
the best laughs.
I think it depends on the crowd. Like Billy was saying. I know I'm not a comedian.
True, that's true.
But I you know, I got some one-liners and you know, I can roll with the best of them. But I do believe that it is about the crowd, and it is like sometimes you do have to put in that.
Especially
You
if
know,
they're
that-
already drunk, like
yeah.
they're already cursing and
You
stuff,
know.
and you throw a couple in there, it just makes the
It-
joke extra funnier to them.
In certain aspects, I think that the cursing kind of like sets them. Okay, all right, he's one of us. You know, I'm cursing. You know, like,
Oh.
it kind of like opens the door into a comfort when you're talking to somebody on stage and he encounters the crowd for the first time. They don't know him, so by him dropping a curse, it kind of drops the guard down, that allows him to go into their into their mind and to get into their mind to tell the joke, to open up the story. So I understand where he's coming
Because
from.
I could say two different words that all mean the same statement. Like, I do clean comedy and I get to a punchline and I'm like, man, forget that. And then it reaches certain people.
Okay.
As opposed to somebody, I'm like, and I went there and I did, I was like, man, F that. And it's extra
Oh.
hilarious to them. You know, so I mean, I could, like, with me, I could rock
See,
either
now I
way.
would crack up with that.
Yeah.
All right, here's the thing about me, because I don't want you guys to think, because I'm really not a prude. Listen, I grew up in New York, honey, with the mafia in my family, and listen, I was a drug addict, I wrote a book, right? So I'm not a prude. I don't like...
You don't like the
this-
profanity. The
that-
profanity.
There you go.
Like the dirty words.
The dirtiness.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, nobody says you can't curse.
that's
Just
right.
keep it. If you're gonna curse, just keep it
Listen,
clean.
Andrew
About
Dice,
the cursing.
Yes, Andrew Dice Clay. One of my favorites, okay? And I'm a lot older than you guys, so I was really young when he came out and did one of his very first acts, and I was watching it on TV at the time, and I'll never forget this.
HBO.
I don't know. I was...
I think it was HBO.
One of those premium channels, because it
Cinemax or
wasn't on
HBO.
I don't
Nickelodeon.
even know if it was listen, I
It
have
wasn't
no
on
idea.
TV. I don't remember it.
It was on TV, baby, but I don't know about all that stuff. But anyway, so he did the skit, and the one thing I'll never forget, and it's not even that funny, it was just cracked me up, and he used the F word, and he said, you know, smoking was allowed in planes at the time. And he said, smoking, the front section was smoking, and the rear wasn't. And he goes, we're in an effing tube, man. And I'll never forget that as a child. And I remember cracking up and thinking this guy was hysterical. So I get the F word, but I don't like, you're right, all that other crap. Like,
Yeah,
why?
I mean, no, I understand what you're saying. You know,
Yeah.
you can curse.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with saying the S word.
No.
You know,
My mother's favorite
the
word
B-
was the F word.
Content.
the B word.
Content.
It's just how you
That's
say it.
right.
If you say the derogatory
That's right.
If you're
curse words,
funny,
you get dirty.
funny is
you know,
funny.
Like you can curse without being
That's right.
profane.
you can do
being
a
profane.
hilarious show without one
Exactly.
curse word.
Yeah.
Like I watched one of Bill Cosby's old stand-ups
Oh, forget
where
it.
I don't even think he didn't take no more than 5 steps on his stage. I don't know the name of it, where he just kind of sat on a chair for like about 90% of his show, and not one curse word
See?
came out of this man's mouth. And I mean, it was like
Hysterical.
belly busting
That's
funny,
right.
yeah. And then like I can get to a person like Chris Rock, where I know I'm gonna hear like a
Right.
whole bunch of curse words, so I can rock either way. Like you
But
know,
you're- but-
like
but
as
you're-
far as
Chris
your
Rock is
content,
funny.
But you're ready
Yeah,
for that. You
yeah.
know,
Chris Rock
you,
is
yeah,
funny.
You know when you watch Chris
Right.
Rock, you know what you're gonna
yeah,
get with
That's
that.
right.
yeah.
You know, versus listening to Will Smith,
That's right.
you know, and you know he's gonna give it clean.
It's like you shocked when he does curse. Like when
Yeah.
you're like, oh, he just said, I never, like Will Smith doesn't curse. Like, how did he just say that? It's like a big surprise to you.
So you guys are the only guests that never gave me any information on you. So
Oh, last minute. I was
well,
so
we're-
happy.
it wasn't last minute. I've been
We
telling
kind of
you guys from the beginning.
we kind of gave you some
Somewhat.
some information, like, you know, I guess months ago, right?
No, you really didn't.
I gave you a kind of
Yeah.
I kind of gave you a little bit of
No, not really. No one emailed me anything. I said, email me facts, bullet points.
no, I inboxed you on Facebook.
Listen.
I
I have to print
inboxed you.
stuff out. Listen. So anyway, I'm gonna read my poem about my show. My people
The
wait
poem,
for
yeah.
my poems.
The poem,
okay?
yeah.
So listen, after this, if you guys really want a poem, send me information, email it to me, and I'll write you guys a poem. I'll even read it live on one of my other shows.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, baby? So, but anyway, this is called the Geri Petito Show, because now it's my poem. Imagine that, I have a show. Hamilton Radio is the way to go. For those who know me and those who don't, to keep me silent, you can't, I won't. My show will be to keep it real on how I see it and how I feel. About all things in life, you see, afraid I'm not, but you might be, to tell the truth and expose the lies, from healthcare to government to catch the big guys. If you want to get healthy or learn how to live, just listen to me, then inspiration I give. If addiction's your struggle, no matter which one, I wrote the book on addiction, that battle I've won. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass is the title of my book, so check it out, you won't regret the minute you take a look. Nothing negative on my show. I promise you that. All positive info. Now let's have a chat. The phone lines are open for you to call in. Keep it clean and respectful, and I'll let you in. The smartest person that you'll ever meet, it's really not me, guys. If I were, that'd be neat. But a lot of info I sure know. So tune in and learn stuff on the Geri Petito Show. How's that?
Okay.
Amazing.
All right.
Okay,
So
now.
listen, so I really do want to write you guys one, but I really need good dirt. Good dirt.
We don't
Okay?
have any good dirt.
Oh, come on. Everybody has good dirt.
We don't have any good dirt. We don't have any like.
I bet he could give me good dirt on you that you don't know about. You could give me good dirt on him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how you'll do it, right?
Well, if you go back and
Yeah,
back
all the
20
way-
years
all the way,
ago.
all the way back to the high school days. I mean, like the leather jacket Ralph with the hair slicked all the way back.
That's great.
That was ready
I was
for
one of those-
ready
I
for
was-
anybody to say the wrong thing.
I was one of those like 1990, late 1990s.
Grease lightning.
Grease. Remember the Grease,
Yeah, that's cool.
Grease crew.
Yeah, I love that.
But I was like, I was a little of a like thuggish, the rugged, I could wear a pair of Timbs with the leather jacket and I could pull it off.
Yeah.
You know?
We walked home from school together numerous of times. Like this was at a time when I ain't gonna say like the gang epidemic was major, but the other kids started to click up.
Okay.
So it's like every different crew
Everywhere in
had
the
a
area,
different
there was a
name.
there was a clique
Yeah,
and
everyone had a different
Yeah,
name,
all
and
each
like for
other.
some reason, it's like I gravitated towards him, and he gravitated towards me. So it's like, yo, let's walk home from school together, and I wouldn't let nobody mess with him. And
Our
vice
friend,
versa.
we
How
had the
long are
same
you guys
friends.
friends?
20
Over
years.
20 years.
Over 20 years.
How old are you, Billy?
35.
So you're a little younger than my daughter. You're a little older. So you guys. But wait, in school, you guys.
I was more of a sophomore or junior. He was a freshman.
So
Sophomore.
you were a junior.
When I was a senior, he was a
Sophomore.
sophomore, and we were just,
Okay.
I
we
still
were from the
wouldn't
same
let
neighborhood.
nobody mess with him, no matter
Yeah,
how big they
same-
were, whether they
same
was in
thing.
my grade or
But
not.
either or, so it was like a good balance for both of
Yeah,
you, right?
we were, him, me, and amongst other kind of, other friends. We that was it. Everybody was clicking.
We
Everybody,
definitely gravitated to it.
and we had, we were from the same neighborhood. All from we had a crew like all from the same neighborhood, so we all hung out together.
Where did you grow up?
Well, I originally am from Trenton.
Where in Trenton?
Numerous parts of Trenton. I'm originally from the east, right around the corner from Wilbur section.
Okay.
That's my original, state. My original. But I grew up on Center Street, Pearl Street.
Okay.
We're talking about downtown, West Trenton. I mean,
Okay.
I moved over, South Trenton, North Trenton.
Okay.
All parts of Trenton. Chambersburg, predominantly Chambersburg and that area. I went to Trenton High.
So what high school were you? You were in Trenton High with him also,
No,
Billy?
At
I went
this
to three
time,
I went to three high schools.
at this time, I moved out to Hamilton.
Yeah, I went to I started at Hamilton West. I think I got kicked out for fighting. I was a brawler. Then I went to Trenton High.
I'm
got
trying to
kicked
say that
out.
politely.
Then I went to Trenton High, got kicked out for brawling. But it was legit reasons why I was not always the starter. I was always the finisher. Then I went to Nottingham, and then that's where I met him.
Okay. So all right. So Billy, you have a joke? Come on, do something. Make me laugh. I think we all need to laugh here. Come on, let us laugh.
So you really did just put me on the spot.
I
like
did,
that, huh?
baby. I did. Because listen, real
I always do it to
comedians
you.
should be able to do this.
I always do it to you.
All right. Well, I mean, it's kind of different doing it in front of a couple of people. Like the smallest crowd make you the most nervous. So I'm gonna give you one out of my bag.
All right.
This one is called and this is minus the curse word.
Okay.
I don't have any effing ice cream. That's the title of the joke. Is that all right?
Yes.
All right, cool. Because I ain't gonna say the word. All right, so
You can use the letters. I love that. I always say effing.
all right, so it was ice cream parlor, right? So this guy comes in there and he asks the clerk. He says, "Do you have any chocolate ice cream?" So the guy tells him, he said, "No, sir, we don't have any chocolate ice cream." So the guy leaves, comes back 15 minutes later. He said, "Can I get a chocolate ice cream cone?" He said, "Wait, you were just here 15 minutes ago. I just told you we don't have any chocolate ice cream." So go on about your way. Guy comes back about 15 minutes later. He goes, "Well, let me just get one scoop of chocolate ice cream in my hand." At this point, the cashier is fed up. He said, "Listen here, guy, I want you to listen to me real closely." He said, "I need you to spell the straw in strawberry." So the guy said, "It's easy, STRAW." He said, okay. "Now I need you to spell the van in vanilla." The guy said, "Easy, VAN." He said, "Now I need you to spell the F in chocolate." The guy says, "There is no F in chocolate." He said,
I
"That's what
love
I've been
it.
trying to tell you, that it ain't no F in chocolate. Now get out of my store."
I love it.
Punchline.
That's awesome. I heard a little cute joke too where a kid would go and get his hair cut all the time, and the hairdresser would tell him to read him a book or read him a story or something. And he would say to the guys, wait, and watch this. This kid is so stupid. And he's like, he had a 5, he had $1, and he had like a few quarters. And he's like, which one do you want? And the kid would take the 2 quarters and run out and go buy candy. So after a couple weeks, the one guy goes over to him, finds the kid in the candy store. He goes, why do you keep taking the quarters? Why don't you take the 5 or the $1? What do you think the kid said?
If I could, just thinking as a kid, because they're shiny.
No, because the minute I do that, the game is over, he said. Right? So think about that. So that was so clever. So the kid's smart.
Yeah.
I like those little kind of jokes.
Like I got punchline jokes and I got true story jokes. Like my daughter got a taste test game. When she was younger, she did a taste test game with me. True actual story. I'm sitting at the edge of my bed. I'm watching TV. She's actually behind me, laying down on the pillow. So she's doing the imagination. So she's like, "Here, Daddy, taste this." So as a pop, I have to improvise with it. So I'm like, "What was that?" She's like, "Banana." So I'm not even really looking. So she does it again. So I'm like, "Well, what's that?" She said, "That's strawberries." So then she does it again, and I put it to my lip, and something got stuck. And I'm like, "Wait a minute." I'm like, "What was that?" So I looked behind me. She just got through digging up her nose, and she was like, "It was a booger." And I'm like, "Oh!" I can't believe she just did this to me. Like, you're about to be on punishment until you're 18.
So here's the difference between men and women. See, the mom would always look first. Okay? Just like the little kid who kept telling daddy, drink the teacup. Yeah. And he's on his computer drinking, he's getting the water out of the toilet. Right? But a mom wouldn't fall for any of that.
Mom would be like, wait a minute, where'd you get the water from? Because you guys are logical. The refrigerator's closed, the bottled water's closed. Where'd you get this from? Like the toilet.
Listen, I'm from Trenton. I ain't drinking anything in
Isn't
any
that
cups
now?
without knowing what it is.
Yeah, especially not right now.
Not trying to get food.
Especially
I'm
not
just
right
throwing
now.
out the water.
Especially not right now.
So I was telling Ralph, I really love your show when I get to view it because you guys are so amazing. First of all, I love looking at you too. I said that to him already. You guys are eye candy for me. I am very jealous of your hair. Okay, I had a beauty salon most of my life and wanted dreads forever. My hair, even though it always looked so thick, it was so fine. One time they had to get this much hair to make this little dread. It wasn't going to work. So once a year, I would have them braid my entire head for years. I did that. I love dreads, so it's amazing.
It's definitely a process. It's a process that locks it in there, yeah.
But I was telling him that what I love so much about your show is that you guys promote everyone. And that, to me, is amazing. Because that's what everyone needs to do.
Yes.
You know?
My mom is a big fan of that, too. Promotion,
yes. It's easy for us to go on in front of a camera, on a microphone, and just talk back and forth, make jokes amongst each other, but it's no fun if you're not accomplishing something with it.
I love that.
It's no fun if you're not talking about something deeper than what we're just talking about. So I like to add that ingredient. Bring somebody different on here. Give me a story. Let us know who you are. I think it's amazing to hear from somebody else. It gravitates different listeners, different, from all different walks of life. And that's how I see it. I think I'd be bored of watching myself every Monday if I'm on here by myself.
Without a purpose.
That promotion takes you a long way. Do you understand me? The stories that you learn through that promotion, like we promoted a Trenton DJ, DJ Juice.
Oh. And
through promoting him, we got to learn a story about him. And he put him on the spot. He was like, tell us one of your most regretful moments inside the industry. He was like, tell us your best accomplishment and tell us your worst one. And he played his best accomplishment where he got a voice recording of Biggie, the rapper Biggie Smalls. He had a voice recording of him. And he was like, okay, now what was your biggest setback inside your career? He said, I remember being on the elevator with Puff Daddy and a Spanish lady that I didn't know at the time. And he said, I wanted to get the interview from Puff. And Puff was like, I can give you the interview. He said, but I want you to interview her. And at the time, he didn't know that this lady was Jennifer Lopez. And he denied her. He said, I don't know her. He said, I want the interview from you. And he never gave J-Lo.
It wasn't an interview, it was a drop.
A drop.
Like,
to get her audio.
ID.
And because he didn't know her, he said, I don't know her, so I want to do it. And that's one of the biggest things that he regretted. And I'm like, listen, I'll never forgive him for that one.
since you I want to say something real quick. Since you touched base on that, you remember the young man that was here, a friend of mine, was here with his daughter, waiting for Juice to come the first time.
Yeah.
May his soul rest in peace. It passed away 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wait.
Oh my goodness.
A friend of mine that was here, he was here to try to meet Juice the first time.
Yeah.
What was his first
I
name, though?
remember.
Joe.
Okay, because a friend of mine just passed away. A young guy in Trenton just passed away 3 weeks ago. So it's not the same.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was my friend was Joe. Yeah, and
He sat
Yeah.
I'm
right
so
across
sorry.
that, right across.
yeah,
right.
yeah. So shout out to him. May his soul rest in peace. Just wanted to
So
say that because
sorry.
you mentioned that. I forgot to mention that on the last show. So
Wow, sorry to hear
Yeah.
that. Rest in peace. Is
so
right.
thank you for letting me get that out.
Yes, rest in peace, Joe. Wow. You know, so think about now, it was Jennifer Lopez. Think about this for a minute, right? Elvis Presley. Everyone who knows me knows I'm this huge Elvis fan, right? And I remember hearing stories, and I got to hear interviews because of Sirius Radio, or I would have never heard Elvis say things he has said. So I'm really blessed because of that, because now I got to hear firsthand some of the rumors that I heard and hear his interview about it. And he said one time, he said that, I don't care if you're a janitor. He said, you are as much important to me as the president of the United States. And that man meant it. And,
But you have a voice.
I live my life like that. And I know you guys do too, because I don't care who it is. I say, come on, you're going to be a guest. I don't care
That's how we
who
do.
you are. You want to be a guest, you are on. I don't care what it's about. I don't care how old you are. I don't care anything, disabilities, whatever. You are welcome on my show.
I love that mentality.
You
Like
know?
you could have a huge mansion with like 84 rooms and 16 floors, and you could just stay in there by yourself. I'll come over and hang out with you. You could have the smallest house, like the size of a garage, with 30 kids running around, and it's only one couch. I'll stand up.
That's
We
right.
can still hang out.
That's
You
right.
know, I don't look at anybody.
It's crazy that you say that because me, I have friends that are like, big time millionaires, and I got friends that are, just middle class, and then I got friends that are just poor.
Yep.
And I don't see any,
Me too.
I don't see any
We can
higher
still hang
levels,
out.
any barriers. I'm still gonna be friends with them.
That's
you know,
right.
And
like,
have a very good time.
yeah, exactly. I'm friends with a lot of people,
Yeah.
and I'm friends with I don't see religion. I don't see
Me
I
too.
don't. I see beyond that. I'm about, if you respect me, I'm gonna respect you. That's it.
I'm the same exact way. I've been told by atheist friends of mine, and I'm a Christian, and I love my atheist friends. I've been told by liberals, Republicans, it doesn't matter. I've been told that I am one of the most approachable people they've ever met. I was telling him before you got here, Billy, I had a poker league for 10 years. It was called Midnight Owl Poker. A lot of my games were in Trenton, Layla Street Sportsman's Pub.
Okay.
That was one of my games we were there for probably 12 years. And I had a man named Hayward. He still lives in Trenton. He actually grew up and he lives in the same house. He's about my age. And he ran the games there, and I would go there a couple times a month. And, I had these young, and I'm just going to say it, black men, African-American men, with their pants down here, you know what I mean? And here I walk in, this, Italian grandmother, and I grab their pants, and I don't even know them. They could shoot me, right? Any of them, right? I grab their pants, pull it up, I go, what the heck is this? Okay, I promise. They end up loving me. Because I am approachable. Like, I don't care who you are, what you have, or any of that. I'm going to hug you no matter what. It doesn't matter. And I see that in you guys. And I'm not kidding. I'm saying this because I mean it, because I don't just say anything I don't mean. I love, when I can tune into your show, I love watching you two together, because I see that in your hearts, and you have amazing hearts.
We make it approachable. We make it that anybody from all different walks of life can call us and just BS with us, just shoot it.
I like
that.
I like that. I like that freestyle ability too, like to bounce.
Yeah.
It could be the simplest topic.
Before he got here, I was telling you that we absolutely don't rehearse. Pretty much, like, when we have a large crowd, we get a couple names, but and some insight, but we don't rehearse anything.
Yeah, I don't either.
And we just bounce off each other, and
it's great.
The show can like evolve. That for that hour, that show goes through so many metamorphoses, so many evolutions, and so many statements are made, back and forth, and we always leave like, wow, we actually got to talk, and speak about things that your everyday Joe doesn't do.
Even like
Yeah.
certain it's been certain interviews where I felt like the building literally lifted like
Yeah.
2 feet off of the ground. I'm like, yeah, that was just an explosive interview.
What was okay? Let's talk about that. I want to know your favorite interview, and then I want to know your least favorite. Can we talk about that?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Sure,
So
sure.
tell me, guys.
You want to start?
You start.
All right, my favorite interview is when he had invited rapper Diverse Character in with
First time,
with his group. I want to say the second time.
That's the first time
And,
ever, guys, that I didn't have my ring
It's
on.
okay.
Sorry.
It's
So
okay.
good.
I don't have mine on anyway.
So this is Diverse Character second interview, because by the first interview I got a chance to kind of do some background on him. So let me check his Facebook. Let me check a lot of his social media. Let me check
Mind
his
you, I don't
page.
tell him beforehand who's coming. I don't tell
Yeah.
Ruben.
I gotta figure.
It's-
I
he has
gotta
to
do
get
my
here
homework
to
after the fact.
see.
Who, Billy?
Yeah. I don't tell him. Who's
Really?
Yeah, so I have to
That's
do
one
my
of the-
homework
That's
after
one
the
of
fact.
the that's one of the top secret things that anytime
But
I have a guest, I don't
By
tell
that
anybody.
second time that they come to that show, I've dissected them inside and out. The only thing I might not know is a lot of their relatives, but I know everything about them.
Okay.
So by this time, I did all of the history on Diverse Character. And this was a real intriguing kid because he was real humble. By the time I followed him, he had already been on tour with Snoop Dogg and Wiz
Oh,
Khalifa.
that's really cool.
He was on an episode of ESPN, and he had an article
MTV
inside Rolling Stone
featured-
magazine. So he's interviewing him, and this had to be like the best interviews by far because my energy was on 1,000. And he asked him, and he said, he was like,
I remember the question. I remember the question, and I know the answer.
Yeah, because
I know the answer. It
his
was,
answer wasn't enough for
What do
me.
you see yourself in 5 years, right?
And I mean, he was so humble with it. He was just like,
Yeah, it's incredible.
and it had something to do with his accomplishments. But he was just like real subtle. He was like,
He
just
said,
me,
my
my
I
label, my family,
appreciate
and all this other stuff.
my friends,
Yeah.
my squad. I'm just happy to
And
be
he
doing
would have
this.
ended it.
Just blessed.
He would have ended it that way. And I told him, I was like, out of love, out of respect, I
I do
almost
it for
flipped
my
this
people.
table over on you. Because I said, you did not mention none of it. And I ran down the whole catalog. He's just sitting there like with this smile on his face, like, yeah. I'm like, and it's not like I'm hearing a story from you. These are things I literally seen myself. I seen your picture inside Rolling Stone magazine.
Right.
I saw you on an episode of ESPN. Like, I see that you're on tour with Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg. I'm not hearing this word of mouth and none of this other stuff. And he didn't even mention none of that. He was just so humble and calm. Like, I almost flipped the table over because I knew everything about him at the time.
He was just as chill, and every time we bring him on for an interview, because he's constantly doing something, going to, I think he's just in Atlanta right now, coming back from Atlanta. But every time we bring him on, it's always an intriguing conversation.
Had to be the best one. Had to be the best one for me, by far. Cause I'm like, here's this kid that
That's so
I
cool.
literally knew nothing about. You from Trenton, right? From Trenton. The best kept secret. Like, to me, like the best kept secret. Like his energy is way too big for that physical vessel that he calls the body. Like, he's destined for bigger, greater things. And I've been a fan. Like, since that moment that he brought him in, I've just been a fan. Like, I kind of already just see his future just in the stars and in the limelight.
Now, what was your favorite?
My favorite was the on the spot. Listen, I'm not taking anything away from anybody's shows,
That's right.
but one of my favorites was the on the spot. The on the spot, what was it? The on the spot. What was it that we did? We had when we had Bill the Butcher, Wes, and you.
Butcher and West. That was
The cipher, the on the spot cipher.
Yeah.
That
It was at the very
Harrison
end of the show.
Radio first ever heard a cipher. This was the cipher's called. It's a
When a group of rappers get together,
it's like a round
just
robin.
freestyle.
You put a beat, you put an
Okay.
an
Can
instrumental.
you guys hear me okay? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I
Okay,
can hear you.
go ahead.
And it's when you put an instrumental, and everybody just goes back and take turns. And we had Bill the Butcher for first time on,
Yeah, that was a good show. That was a real
and
good
Wes, and we
show. Also
had
his first time.
and I just put can we get a beat on? And let me tell you, that cipher was one of the most insane ciphers because
The building
the
raised 2
phones,
feet.
the phones were like after the show, people were like, "Yo, who are those guys?
Yeah.
Who are those guys? Oh my god!" And I was like, "Yo, they're artists that I'm working with, blah blah blah." But that was one of my favorite. I have a lot of favorites.
Okay.
I mean, first time we ever had Kim D on.
Yep, love
That was
Kim.
an amazing show. Much respect to her. When we had hopeful mayor candidate for Trenton, we had Paul Perez
He
on.
was a cool dude. You understand?
Love
me?
his energy. Love his energy.
I thought
Shout
he
out to
was
him.
going to come in like, you know,
Nah, but
kind of laid
you know,
back, like, yeah, what's happening,
you know,
fellas?
he-
How y'all doing?
I told him that we're just gonna have, we're just gonna have a chill conversation. And he, God bless, he's so humble. He came on like, with his friend, and we just had a chill conversation.
Don't you love those moments? I love those
Yes.
moments.
I mean, and you kind of like, you look up to these guys, and you kind of like, wow, I have this guy. Like when we had Juice on for the first time, like wow.
Yeah, legend.
We have all these intriguing people like Mike Oregano, and he's bouncing off him. I'm like, it's not about the favorite show. It's about the favorite moments that we leave and an impact, not only the artists, but the listeners and the station as a whole.
Stop right there for a second. So this is what I love about these guys. Now think about the question I asked, right?
Sorry.
I said, what's your favorite show? And look what they did. They did not just say this one person. They said favorite moments, which is beautiful. They also mentioned Hamilton Radio, which is beautiful, right? So like, you see, that's why I love you guys. I can't say that enough, but you guys have to watch their shows because I saw something amazing inside of you from the first moment that I listened to you guys.
I appreciate that.
And even answering this question, I'm listening to you guys, I'm saying, but you're so young and yet you have it. You got it. Right? They got it, Gino.
Oh, without a doubt.
I think it's more like we've been through so much as individuals. We both had like individual like journeys, like ups and downs. We've been to the bottom, like seriously, right?
Yeah. So we're expecting like those same answers, like out of people like that we're interviewing. Like I might look at a person like Diverse, I'm like, yeah, that was an answer that was way ahead of its time.
That's an answer
Like,
I
that was
would-
too
I
humble
would give.
for me.
Yeah.
But you're doing something positive. No, you're not playing victims here.
Yeah.
Everybody has a story but what you guys are doing with your life is so amazing.
Yeah.
And it's enriching other people's lives.
And we appreciate and we're humble.
I've become a number one fan for every guest that come on. I'm like a number one
So
fan now.
Ralph said something before you got here because he said, and we talked about this before him and I, it's really cool to be noticed. It is. I don't care. No matter who you are. It's cool when somebody comes up to you and says, oh my gosh, are you Ralph? Oh my gosh, are you Billy from your show? Oh my gosh, are you Geri Petito?
It's really
That's
humbling
pretty-
and it's really cool.
Yes, it's really cool, right?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, so that means, and when they say it with a smile for
Yeah.
us. So that's really good too. So that means we're doing something positive.
Yeah.
They're not saying, are you that guy from that show, Freestyle Freaks? They don't say it like
That
that.
means we're touching, we're
Lives.
touching somebody. Remember, we're touching somebody in a special way.
Right,
Like we're leaving an impact.
right.
That just, that's what Hamilton Radio is all about. It's
And
more
plus
like
my mom is
it's
watching, so
it's more like
I love you.
this collective of all these shows. It shows the individuality of each show. And I've been a part of a lot of the shows, not as a guest, but I've been blessed that the guys let me go back there and help set up or help man the controls. And these guys are like
part of Ray. You set up a lot of stuff for them, right?
I said I promote. I
Yes.
manage. At the moment I solely manage. With the help of Gino and of course Ruben, these amazing guys. I'm the sole manager at the moment. With the help of them, I manage Channel 3. And that's the dance. That's the World Dance Channel. We got local music, world music.
That's cool.
And I help double the listeners on that channel. And this was an idea that I brought to them years ago. And when they came to me and said, listen, we have an idea and we want to run it by you. And then they said, we want you to work with it. I'm like, are you serious? You're actually gonna listen to me and you're actually gonna give me that platform? I said, yeah, absolutely. We believe in you.
See that?
And like I said, I'm humbled.
That's
you know.
amazing, guys.
Really humbled.
I just love Hamilton Radio.
Yeah,
You know,
I have nothing but much respect for all the shows, the station as a whole. You know, all the people, the amazing people that I've met, especially the guys behind the controls. Without them, without their dream, this would just be a dream.
you're right.
You know.
You know, when we have shows, and everybody out there listens to our shows, we want to thank you for that first and foremost, because without our viewers, right, and our listeners, we'd have nothing.
Absolutely.
You know, we'd have nothing. And I'm not even sure if you guys knew about this, but I ended the year with God, right? And the show was pretty amazing. I said to God that week, I said, all right, Lord, listen, we probably won't have too many viewers because of the topic. Because, I promote for like 3 weeks, you saw. And I was like, okay, it's all about God. And I said, it was my biggest show ever. I had a half an hour into my show, 1,400 viewers on Facebook watching the show about God. Now it's up to like 2,500 on Facebook. And that was amazing. So without you guys watching us, we wouldn't even have shows.
Yeah.
Hamilton Radio, like
It's the
can't.
viewers that keep us going.
That's right. People from all over the world, they were saying hello from Scotland with the show, hello from Australia. I mean, I just love that. It's amazing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're touching
100%.
so many lives, and it's because of Hamilton Radio.
I mean, Hamilton Radio provides an outlet to where not only you can speak to somebody that's in your own town, but also in your own country and abroad.
Yes.
I mean, it's an amazing
Yes.
platform. And people people are just getting on Hamilton Radio. I mean, you guys have no idea. I mean, there's so many shows, there's so much talent that they bring through here. Listen, I've been behind there. I've been on I'm in the chair and behind those chairs as a guest. I've done so much with Hamilton Radio, and it's just a growing station. And like I said, it's when people actually tune in and they see the different diversity and all the uniqueness of the shows and the music, they get more for what they're going to expect. Like when they go and let's say they check out channel 1, the music channel. Let's say if they get tired and they want to go and hear some of the talk shows, they got a chance to not only listen to music, watch talk, and listen to other people from different walks of life.
Yeah.
It's like it puts you right in the seat or driver's
Sure
seat
does.
of somebody else's life
It sure
all
does.
over the world. Like, and it's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And we get to talk to them or ask questions like, I guess like we're sitting here like nothing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
The one thing that I love about what we do is we do get to talk to so many different people.
Yeah.
And they bring a perspective to our lives. Like they allow me, especially because females and males obviously think differently, right? So, they bring a perspective to me even more so with things that I just never had an understanding. Like what you said, as simple as what you said about cursing with your jokes and the audience. I never even thought about that. So when I talk to different people, I love being informed with all this amazing stuff that I never would have even thought was possible. And it's only through this. You know what I mean? It's amazing, right?
Absolutely.
I
100%.
love people. I love meeting people and talking to people.
Yes. Learning a lot about their stories.
The basic human interaction can leave a lifetime of impact on the soul and the mind and the heart. That's
So the
sorry,
name,
I gotta be so like.
So the
That's
name
awesome.
of
That's
your show, like, is this the title of your show? Right?
It's the Geri Petito Show. Okay, don't be an ass.
Okay.
That's the title of my book. I'm not an addict. I'm just an ass.
So I got a question for you.
Yes.
What inspired you to write a book?
And I got a question after him.
Oh, I love it. I love this.
Okay, so then listen.
Gino, you know me.
You're gonna love it.
If I'm in a seat, I'm gonna throw a
Okay,
couple questions
so
back.
wait, I'm
I'm
gonna
not going to
answer
turn
you.
this into an interview because you were not on our show.
Okay, you're right. That's right. You know, listen, here's the thing. But you know why I wasn't on your show, right? My dad passed away.
You weren't
Okay,
able to get on.
That's right. Because I appreciated the invite and I would love to be a guest. I'm going to answer your question also. What's your question also? Because I might be answering them together. What's your question as well?
All right. Is addict somehow connected to recovery?
Okay, that's why I figured it had to do with that. So, all right. So yes, I was an addict, and I say was, and I'll tell you why. I am no longer an addict. Okay, I do not believe. I know for a fact addiction is not a disease. I am a nutritional health coach. I've been studying nutrition for 27, 28 years now. I also cured myself of 2 cancers through fasting and nutrition. I went away and got certified when I was only 30 years old. Okay, I was 100 pounds and very sick, and I would have been dead if I listened to the doctors. And I have doctors and nurses in my family, and I love them. It's not about them. It's about the medical industry, what's going on. So the problem with this and addiction and what prompted me to write this book was God. So I'm going to use the word in recovery for 27, 28 years now. So I'm clean and sober for over 28 years.
God bless.
Thank you. But I'm also mentally clean and sober, and that's the difference. So through this whole thing, even with my dad, with the Alzheimer's, I did everything in my power to learn about the brain. I even studied the brain, and there is not one piece of scientific evidence that can prove to anyone that the brain of an addict and the brain of someone who's not an addict is different. It's not. And I'll tell you, and then I'll answer your question. What happens in the brain is this with addiction, okay? When you do anything, I don't care if it's too much sex, I don't care if it's pornography, if it's food, it doesn't matter. Whatever you have become addicted to, you alter your brain cells. That is where the word dis-ease comes in, okay? So your brain is in a state of dis-ease that can also be repaired in 1 year. In 1 year, if you take out all the negative stuff, if I can take an addict and lock them up in my care for 1 year, they will no longer have any problems with addiction at all. Okay, you have to start filtering in healthy things, healthy food, no sugar. Your brain cannot decipher the difference between opiates and sugar. So what do they give you in rehabs? Sugar, crap, anything you want. Okay, so that's why all addicts are also addicted to sugar, and most Americans are. What prompted me to finally write the book was I fast every year for a month on water, nothing but water. Okay, and I guess it's almost 2 years now about this book. God said, write the book. So I laughed and said, really? And he said, write the book. I said, okay. So I called my brother up because my dad was still alive and we were taking care of him. And I said, all right, you're on dad duty for October. Excuse me, I'm going to fast. He's like, fine, but I didn't tell him I was writing a book. The book was written in 3 weeks, and I mean perfectly, to get the point across that I needed to. And I said, okay, Lord, you wrote this book. A friend of mine typed it because I hand wrote it, guys. Okay, I'm not great at all that on the computer. I hand wrote this book out of a pile of papers. So I called up a friend of mine. She came over and she got it in book form on the computer, typed everything out. She said, we're going to send it to so many different publishers. You may not get it published for years. You know, her uncle had a publishing company back then. I said, oh no, God wrote the book. We're sending it to one, Simon & Schuster. She goes, okay. Emails at Simon & Schuster, true story. In 5 days, Simon & Schuster calls me. We were on a 3-way. She said, you better sit down at Simon & Schuster. I said, I don't have to sit down. I expected it. So Archway Publishing is one of their newest divisions. They did my book instantly. They said, not only do we agree with you, we love your story. So what I did with this book was I didn't talk so much about me. I only talked a little bit about me where the addict knows, at least I know what they're going through. Mm-hmm. I also put poems in it. I also changed the 12 steps because I hate them. And I also, it's now the new 13 steps according to Geri. And I'll tell you why. So I don't tell anyone not to go to meetings. I would never do that because some people don't have a support system. But I tell everyone why they should be cautious, okay, about that. I will never walk into a meeting ever again, and I would never stand up there and say, hi, I'm Geri, I'm an addict, and I'm powerless. Because you are being brainwashed. There 7% of people that are in recovery through these meetings make it. Only 7%. That's pretty bad. So there's so many other factors involved with why addiction is still okay? Because the government wants you addicted. All right, so all that. But if you train yourself every single day for years and years and years, even if you're clean and sober from the actual addiction, you're not mentally clean and sober. Because if you have to walk into meetings every day, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, and stand up there and say, "Hi, I'm Jerry, I'm an addict. I wanted to pick up today." 10 years later, is that any kind of a healthy life? No.
There's no freedom in that.
There's no freedom in that. I have so much freedom, and I can help anyone out there, but they have to want to do it. So that's why. But God told me to write my book.
Awesome.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I
Yeah.
can really listen. I can relate, and I'm sure Billy will tell you he can relate as well from his perspective. But I can relate because I came from Trenton, came from a broken home, where not only my father was an addict, my mother, I guess, dabbled in that, in addict stuff. My father became entrenched with heroin, not opiates itself, but heroin.
Yeah, me too.
And he was a lifelong heroin addict. And I guess in 2002, when they started flooding Puerto Rico with the opiates hard, because guess what? Puerto Rico, people don't know that that's the epicenter of all the pharmaceutical companies.
There you go.
So who are they going to test these
That's right.
products on first? The Puerto
That's
Rican
right.
people.
That's right.
So my father, I got I guess the heroin, the pure tar heroin first, and it affected him. Pure tar heroin is a lot different than your everyday 1970s, 80s, 90s
That's right.
heroin. It's cut differently, but when you have so much of it, the abundance of it becomes so pure, so easily and accessible, and so cheap to get. That when you don't have that money and you see the cheaper, stronger stuff readily available, you're gonna try it. So I guess the new stuff wasn't that strong, so I ended up having to go physically bury him.
Sorry.
So that was that's one of my lessons. I call it one of my lessons because it taught me to stay very far away from that stuff.
Someone posted something amazing and profound on Facebook, and it said 2 brothers, they were twins, and their father was an alcoholic who died. And they said to the one brother, "Why are you an alcoholic?" And he said, "Because I watched my father." And they said to the other brother, "Why aren't you an alcoholic?" And he said, "Because I watched my father." It's all about choices.
Yeah.
It's all about choices.
That's a crazy
Amazing.
thing. Yeah, crazy thing to say
I
that.
definitely wanted to ask. I'm in
Yep.
I'm in recovery myself
Okay.
personally.
I would love to talk to you one-on-one. Listen, I would love it to have a conversation with you one-on-one, kiddo.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it was very good to get your feedback
Yeah.
on it all. Your brain is amazing. Like you
It's
got
amazing.
these files that I was trying to get like this glimpse into,
It's
and
just like a library
like she
full of information. You just need.
like I seen
to
her
get a
like
book.
retransform like herself. Like she retransformed herself, and it was totally beneficial, like totally for the best. And that's a story in a walk of life that I wasn't familiar with. I mean, it probably came to me in different forms, but like to see a person like, I did this, I reprogrammed this, I got myself, back in health after, beating cancer, and then the mental files were working, and then it got a book which got taken
Yep.
seriously, and how those same mental files like you did to all like reprogram and like re-energize yourself. And I'm like, was this time? Was this age? Was this experience? Like, is this the way that
All
women
of it.
think?
All of it. It was time, it was experience, it was age, it was God. Because without God, I would not be here today. I don't want to make this interview about me. I want to make this
That was
about you.
awesome. That
We
was
have a
awesome.
few minutes left for you guys, but I will give you a free coaching session. I want to talk with you one-on-one. I would love to have that interaction with you, and you're welcome as well.
Yeah.
But I just want you to know one thing, that addiction does not have to be forever. Okay, considering yourself an addict forever, to me, is keeping you in bondage. Okay, I've been all over the world. I'm gonna share this with you guys. I even went to Russia when it was communist. I had machine guns pointed at me in Russia in the 80s. Okay, through a health tour all over the world, and that's when I started learning how corrupt this country is when it comes to even our food and what we're doing to kids and vaccines in the brain and all that. You know what I mean? They took my show off. I did a show in January.
I don't get no flu shots.
No, I took my show. They took my show off the first Tuesday in January. It was called Exposing the Truth. I was touching base on everything. It was gone. So anytime you guys want to talk, I'm here to talk.
You hit there like some type of portal that just opened up, and you got it. Like you get it. You know.
She understands what we understand.
No, like right now, like this is like this. I her understanding like right now to me it's like unfathomable, and I'm definitely willing and definitely be open minded to the 1 hour session, man. Sit down, talk, chop it up, dissect it, all of that.
If
So
you want to do it tonight, I'll hang out with you guys.
I would do it tonight, but
Okay.
we could definitely exchange information, man. As far as you get my number, I get yours.
Okay.
I definitely want to get that going.
We'll even do a
definitely wanna
phone
get that going.
session, Skype, whatever.
I know
Okay.
we could link up face
Yeah.
to face. You could sit in, the same way she said.
Yeah.
You could sit in as
I
well.
gotta cook dinner tonight.
So, all right, guys. So we have 10 more minutes. So I want to bring it back to you guys because I'm a fan of you. I really am. Your show. I just love you guys, and I just love. Oh, your mom. You mentioned that your mom watches the show.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
she's one of our.
They're
maybe
tuned in now.
our number one fan, probably.
they're tuned in now.
So Mom, you raised an amazing son. This kid here, I call you kids, okay? My daughters, they're kids to me. So,
Understandable.
they're two amazing young men, and you guys did a great job with them. And for you to even say, my mom's watching, that's respect. That's
we
beautiful.
try to keep it clean because of that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
When our kids are watching, our parents are watching.
Plus, my mom would call in
You know,
on the
we
heartbeat
kinda
like,
try to
"Excuse
keep
me."
it-
I
you know,
love that, Mom.
We try to keep it a little bit more, family friendly.
Yes.
So yeah, we can be a little dirty, but we can do it with
in
a
a,
little
in a
courtesy.
better way,
And
right?
do a little
and
courtesy,
you reminded me of a story of my mom. I had a comedy show. This is probably like a couple of months ago, and my mom decided to work the door. She was like, "Okay, the door person in here. Let me work the door in the meantime." So I'm like, "All right, cool." And every guy that came in there, that looked some type of way, she was like, "Take your hat off before you go in. Okay, go ahead. Pull your pants up, before you
I
go in."
love it, Mom.
And one of the actual comedians who was supposed to perform, I'm way on the other side of the building. So I just see him kind of waving his hands like this. And I know that he's talking to my mom. And I run out there to see what's going on. He's like, he was like, "I'm stuck at Customs right now with your mom. I told her that I was performing. I'm on the bill." She's like, "Show me a picture of the flyer. Let me see your face." She made me pull.
checking him out
She
the
made me pull my pants up.
I
And,
love it.
and I'm like, "Well, did you pull them up there above my waist?" I'm like, "All right, well, go ahead in and have a seat." Yeah. Hey, man, mom
I love it.
got everybody that came through there. Got
Uh-huh.
everybody.
So I want you guys to tell everybody once again who you guys are, about your show. We're coming to the close.
We are the Freestyle Freaks. I'm Ralphie Rotten, also known as DJ Noise of United States, New Jersey. This is Billy the Kid.
Sometimes.
And we're the Freestyle Freaks on Monday nights from 9 to 5.
Almost radio.
From 9 to 10.
Oh wow, 9 to 5. I like that.
That'd have been
That would have
better.
been something. 9 a.m.
That'd
9 a.m.
We've been all night, brother.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
That's
my
a job.
goodness.
That's a whole job, Chef.
So
That's what we're pushing for.
this isn't over. Okay, now that we're in touch, we're gonna stay in touch, and this is not over, guys. Okay, I'm a fan. I just think you guys are adorable, and I want to thank you for what you do, and I want to thank you for also respecting your mom. Okay, and I want to thank you for
Shout out, Mom.
the information that you put out there for people to help other people.
Yes,
Beautiful, guys.
Listen, if we don't do it, who's going to? It's we live in a country where you should be able to speak your mind and not worry about the repercussions, and just speak the truth. Just keep it real. Just keep it brutally honest, and that's what we do. That's what we bring. Every Monday in out, whether we have an artist on or we have an interview, whether it's just me and him just chopping it up, we always try to give it something that we leave the show on with something positive, or yeah, we shed light on negative, but we also leave it on a
Right.
good vibe, and
Right.
we that's what we're about.
And I want to thank you
Everything.
for what you do for Hamilton Radio. I mean, even
Thank you.
behind the scenes, because
It's
you're amazing.
it's a privilege. It's definitely a privilege on a large scale to be a part of such a collective as Hamilton Radio, that allows us to continue what we do, in some way, some shape or form, living out our dream, in a way.
Awesome.
And being able to cross something out big on our bucket list. And there's not a lot of people our age, from our area, um, that are doing
Yes.
this. That
So
are doing
beautiful,
this.
right?
That can say, yeah, I have a show on a
That's
radio
right.
station that is one of the number one stations in
In
the
the
world right
world.
now. One of the number. I'm gonna say that. Can I say that again? One
number-
of the number one radio
top
stations
7
in the
in the
world.
world.
In the world.
Hamilton Radio, guys.
And we just do this because
Yay!
we love this.
Yes.
And I'm humbled, honored, and privileged. I feel blessed to do this.
Well, I want to thank you guys because I love you guys, and I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And this was just an amazing interview with you guys, and I just wanted to get your word out there.
We appreciate that. I mean, because, like I said, we've never been on this side of the fence.
I'm so happy that
We've
I'm
never
the first.
yeah.
Yay!
I mean, yeah, like I said, we've been on different shows
Yeah.
and stuff like that. We've been on other shows and stuff like that, but not a Hamilton
Radio interview. Yes.
This, you are the first.
Yes, I'm honored.
That was awesome. The whole
And we
experience.
and listen, we're down to do other interviews.
You are. Listen, we're gonna get my calendar out. I'm booked till the spring. I want you guys back. We'll get a
We'll
date
definitely
ASAP.
come back. We'll
Okay?
definitely come back.
I love it.
We'll definitely come back and talk
So-
more about different things.
I love listening to you guys.
We look forward to that.
But I really want to thank you for what you do behind the scenes for us here at Hamilton Radio because
Thank you.
I know you guys have done a lot, especially you, Ralph. You've done a lot.
Appreciate it.
Billy, I love you. I love your hair, man. We are going to get together. We're going to talk, and I got to give you a hug when we're done.
Sweet.
All right. I want to thank everybody out there who's listening. And Freestyle Freaks, guys, please check them out. You will not be disappointed. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Much love.
Much love.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, you guys are clear off there.
It's kind of weird not saying we're freestyle freaks.